It's a bit cold here, isn't it? Never mind. 12 principles of animation. I'm sure there are a lot of tutorials about this, but this one is gonna be general, super fast and simple. And you know, although this is the last episode of the fall, winter is coming! For every animator, it is necessary to know the 12 principles of animation. They've introduced in a book called The Illusion of Life by two Disney animators, Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston. The first principle is squash and stretch. It simply means if you want to increase the size in one axis, you have to decrease the size in the other one. So it would be like this. And vice versa. The second principle is anticipation. Let's say we want to move this rectangle to the left. It doesn't seem very natural. The anticipation means that if you want to move something to one direction, first do it in the opposite direction. It just prepares the audience for the action. The third principle is called staging. Let's say we have two rectangles and they are alive. If we want to move both of them at the same time, the audience will get confused because he will not know where to look at. Staging simply means we have to do everything in order. First it's your turn, then it's your turn. The next principle is straight ahead action and pose to pose. Now we want to make this rectangle jump. In a straight ahead action, we just draw the first frame, second frame, and so on. But in pose to pose, we draw the first one, the last one, in between, and then the rest of the frames. Sometimes in a straight ahead action, you can't draw the size of the shapes correctly, but with pose to pose, by drawing some lines, you would be able to draw them perfectly. Next we have follow through and overlapping action. Let's put a blue rectangle on the red one. We can consider the red as the main part of the object and the blue as the rest of it. If we move the main part, the rest of it follows it. That's why we call it follow through. An overlapping action means if we want to stop the main part of the object, the rest of it continues to move. Then we have a slow in and a slow out. It doesn't seem very natural if we move something with a constant speed. Slow in and slow out means start slowly, finish slowly, but in the middle, speed up. Now the lower one is gonna have the slow in and slow out, while the upper one is gonna move at a constant speed. Look at the lower one. First slow, then fast, then again slow. Just like anticipation, slow in and slow out is another way of making movements look natural. The next principle is called arc. It means that every kind of movement has to be circular. For example, in movements of feet, you can see the circle here, here, and here. By the way, today is the final match of the World Cup, so let's actually shoot a ball. After that, we have secondary action. Let's make this rectangle alive again. By adding some secondary actions, we can make it more alive. In order to create these kind of animations, first we start with main actions, and then we go to secondary ones. Next, we have timing. Let's move this rectangle with 9 frames. What if we decrease the number of frames? This time the upper one is gonna move with 5 frames and the lower one is gonna move with 9. As you can see, the upper one has lag. So it's very important to know how many frames you're gonna need for your movement. The more frames you have, the lower the speed. And the lower the frames, the more speed. So a slow in and a slow out would be something like this. So we can make a natural movement only with 5 frames. After that, we have exaggeration. It means if something looks big, make it bigger. And if something looks small, then make it smaller. And not just this. If something is bright, make it brighter. If it's dark, then make it darker. So generally it means that if you're doing something, do it more. Next we have solid drawing, which means every animator should know about perspective and draw the character from different angles. So every time you want to draw something, think about it in 3 dimensions. When it comes to solid drawing, you have to know more about anatomy and the right proportions. And you should avoid symmetry, because even with the S shape your character is balanced. And you should know more about weight. Right now the weight of this character is concentrated in the middle, but this time it's on the left. And the last principle is appeal. Every character has something that you might like. It might be related to the shapes, Or what's he doing? You can make your character better by using variety of shapes, adjusting the proportions, or adding enough details. An appeal is not just for heroes, but also villains and all kinds of characters inside your story. And take care of your health, guys. It's just a stick on his lips. So what else can you do with these principles? Use your own creativity. And remember, try to love the animations you're creating. Being in love with your artwork creates love inside your audience's heart. This is Modelman, and I'm in love with making these videos for you. See you in the next video.